Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you again so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Quick look at Avalanche, seeing what's going on. We got this potential layout chart here from over the weekend. If the price were to pull back, which levels would it pull back to? There's potential for consolidation in the range of 0.5 to 0.382 here, that roughly $25 to $26 range. But also a likelihood of a bounce from this area too as well. This little this guy right here at about 25.64. So again, we're going to talk about that and see if that's changed at all. Just because that was the case a few days ago doesn't mean it is now. So we're going to make sure we clarify a few things, pull up our liquidation data, and just double check some important factors. Quick thank you so much to my community for some awesome feedback. Appreciate that. Super glad that the Near protocol along, at $4.51 gave us a good 48% on only a 5x leverage trade. So again, we're not getting super crazy in our community. We're just kind of taking safe, effective trades that are more consistent instead of jumping in, jumping out, willy-nilly, right? So again, AVAX is one of those coins I've been paying attention to for a little while. If you see on my chart, I've got an alert set around $26 because that's an area I'm interested in considering a trade, okay? So let's take a look here. Liquidation, first of all, we got 26.35. That's that lower level liquidation. A decent chunk of liquidation on the downside. There's still some upwards of 28 to 29. Don't get me wrong, we're kind of in the middle of that liquidation range. But there is a heavier concentration the last 7 days between 25 and 26 as a rough estimate. So just keep that in mind. We also look at the macro here. We can see roughly 200 million at 29 and approximately the same at about 26.30. Okay, so nothing super stark or crazy at that point. On the daily time frame, let's quickly look at a few important things here. Of course, we got our ascending trend line here still being honored. We got the 20-day SMA running concurrent with it. That's generally the way that trend lines are supposed to work. Kind of give you an indication the last 20 days, the prices continue to make higher highs and higher lows. We haven't broken that trend yet. The trend is always your friend. Try not to trade against it. At this point, too, we got to recognize, too, that there's a daily candlestick close right here at what, 27? I'm just rounding down a little bit, 27.13. And that's something we want to kind of be mindful of, too, because daily candlestick closure highs, we've seen 3 days in a row where the price hasn't broken below that. That may be the new bottom, okay? So we'll just pay attention there. We can see MACD is losing its momentum, stochastic second swing to the downside, and we can also see RSI at about in the 60 range, but below 70. Money flow index is pulling back. So this is generally telling us that we should experience some type of retracement here, mainly because when money flows away from coins, it tells us now in the last 14 days we see less money flowing in than, or more money flowing out than in at this point. Okay, and that's never something you want to see when a price is close to its local top. However, again, we do have the fact that we have the local high that's been broken, and this could very well be a bullish backtest of that previous resistance. Okay, and that is what you refer to as a new support level. So there's a chance if we range here for a little bit longer, we'll probably see the next launch. It all depends on Bitcoin. We look at this chart versus Bitcoin's chart, we can see it's fairly similar in a lot of ways. It's printing somewhat of a flag where Bitcoin is printing mostly a bullish rectangle. Both are bullish signs though. You got to kind of keep that in mind. All right, so again, until we break these trend lines, there's a great chance we're probably going to see further upside. It may not happen right now, but I'm thinking if we see this $26 range revisited, we may see a pivot there. Keep in mind on the daily time frame, there is a pretty substantial fair value gap as low as 24.60. So I'd say a worst case scenario for AVAX in this trend here is 24.60 and then launch from there. Take a look here at the 4 hour, just to quickly note. We're above all moving averages. We're testing the 20 right now, generally still very favorable. We're over 50 on the RSI. As long as we can maintain 50, I think we're in pretty good shape. Stochastic is swinging down, and money flow index is kind of hanging out right there with the RSI. The fact that the money flow index is higher than the RSI is usually a good sign, though. It tells you have more money flowing in the last 14 candles here, which coincidentally includes a weekend, and that the RSI basically is construed as still a good value. So those are positive signs nonetheless, okay? So overall, pretty good situation here for the 4 hour, above average than most coins I've looked at today. And we take a look at the the hourly time frame. We're gonna get some conflicting information here, whereas the lagging spans within the price action, the conversion line's above the baseline, and we're within the cloud. So again, when it's range-bound activity, folks, I wouldn't recommend using the Ichimoku cloud as like a sole indicator. However, if we do see the lagging span break free from the price action, like this, for example, then at that point, you should consider a position based on the fact that we've broken free from that range, and we're more likely to retest this resistance here to break it and to potentially bullishly backtest it for the next leg up. So those are all just little things we want to pay attention to. But at this point here, if we do take a look, again, this is kind of fairly common for Mondays. we see a lot of volume here at about $27. The average point of control is 27. So as long as we remain above that here today, I think that's a pretty good sign considering today is a weekday, because weekends can be very, give you a lot of false positives. Okay, so anyways, that's kind of where we're at there. I'll update our playout chart here in our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. If you're not familiar, it looks a little something like this, where I kind of give you indications of coins I'm looking to take a trade with. Solana is looking like a bull flag pattern, and as long as Bitcoin can maintain its range, I think we're going to see that guy take off. But at this point here, I think AVAX looks very, very strong still. I'm more interested in an entry in the upper 25 to low $26 range. That's just me personally. But again, I wait for a lot of opportunities that never happen. That is part of being a patient trader. But once more, less opportunities, but more consistent ones. I don't know, it just depends on what you're looking for, I guess. Either way, thanks so much for watching. Hope you learned something today. Do not forget to like the video every time you watch my shows. I really appreciate that. Helps grow the channel, gets us in front of more people, and ideally, less moon boys get the views. Not only there's anything wrong with them, they're just kind of full of crap. I don't know. It's just ridiculous. Conversation for another day. Tell me how you really feel, Cash. All right. Have a good one. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.